Hello, children. A very warm welcome to the virtual session again. So, let us continue with chapter 11 Force and Pressure. We have already learned in a previous session pressure is force upon area. So, what is pressure? The force acting upon a unit area is called pressure. The part of force we have finished in a previous session, so we are going to continue with the later part of the chapter pressure, where we have seen formulae and we have seen numericals. We have done some numericals in our previous session. I hope you all have done the assignment given to you all for the sum solving based on force and pressure. So the formula which we have used in the numerical was P is equal to F upon A, where P is pressure, F is force and A is the unit area. So this you have already learned and you have done numericals based on this. And the SI unit, as you know, of pressure is Pascal or Newton per meter square. This you all have already done in your previous session. So today we are going to continue with pressure concept, which will be applicable to liquids and gases. So we are going to see how the pressure worked in liquids and gases here. The points which I am going to tell you to take down in your notebook, only those points you are going to write. You are not going to write anything extra in your notebook, children. So some points we have to take it down today for this session. Now let us see. Liquid exert a pressure on the walls of the container in which they are put in. Like if you put water in a bottle, it will exert some pressure in the water bottle. So liquid do exert pressure on the walls of the container which they are put in. The pressure that a liquid exerts on the bottom of the container is dependent upon the height of the liquid in the container. So these are extremely important points. You have to take it down in your notebook. The heading you are going to give the pressure exerted by liquid and gases. And then you are going to make points in your notebook. So second point, the pressure that a liquid exerts on the bottom of the container is dependent on the height of the liquid in the container. So height of the liquid in the container is extremely important to know how much pressure it will exert in the container. Then the third point here, you have to take it down in your notebook. The liquid exerts equal pressure on different points on the walls of the container having the same depth. So now here extremely important to know that container having the same depth, the liquid exert equal pressure on different points on the wall. So extremely important points. Please take it down. Pressure exerted equally on different points on the walls of the container, provided the container have the same depth. So please take it down. Then next you will see pressure increases with depth. Here diagram is shown where you have a container like a vertical cylinder. You have a vertical tall cylinder here, and a liquid like water is being put in the tall cylinder. So you will see where from which point water comes out first. Let us see. That means at that point the pressure is maximum. So pressure is highest at the bottom, and then as you go you have made some holes, and then you try to see, suppose you take a plastic tall vertical container, a tall container like a cylinder, and you make some pressure points and you check. So you will see water comes out of the holes, and you will see pressure is highest at the bottom. So from these points you will come to know the pressure at the various points depending upon the depth of the cylinder. So as you have learned this, the pressure that a liquid exerts on the bottom of the container is dependent upon the height of the liquid in the container. Liquid exerts equal pressure on different points on the walls of the container having the same depth. So you have to understand this concept here. Water comes out of the holes and pressure is highest at the bottom. Is it clear, children? You need not draw the diagram, it is just for you to understand the concept. But you have to take down the points from the earlier slide, all 3 points. Now, pressure exerted by the liquid, here you have a different shape container. Pressure act in all direction, you need to know. When you have a shape of the container, like a round shape or a oval shape container, like a plastic bag you take, and you make some holes, and pour some water, make some holes, water comes out in all directions. So you will see water comes out in all direction in a plastic bag where you have created the holes, but it is a oval shape or a round shape plastic bag, and you created some holes. You pour some water and then you created some small holes. Then you will see water comes out in all direction. So here the shape of the container also very important. Now, what is upthrust? The upward force exerted by a fluid on an object is known as upthrust or buoyant force. So that's why you can see over here the shape of the boat will give a very good upthrust in the water. Therefore, it will float on water because the shape, the boat shape give the shape gives the maximum upthrust to the boat. That's why it will float on water. You can see over here weight of the boat, it's being pulled down. You can see the arrow here in the diagram. Here the weight is pulling down, but the upthrust of the water, and due to the shape of the boat, it will remain on the surface. So the upthrust force will act upward, weight of the boat will act downward, but upthrust force is maximum. It will overcome the downward force of the boat, and that's why boat will not sink. It will remain on the surface. It will float. You have to take down this definition of upthrust in your notebook, children. Upthrust force is also called as buoyant force. Now we will also see how gases exert pressure on the walls of the container. So you will see similarly gases also exert pressure on the walls of the container. The molecules of a gas of higher kinetic energy collide with walls applying large force, and as a result these molecules apply pressure on the walls of the container. So as liquid, you see particles spread like water. It takes the shape of the container. So therefore water exert pressure on the walls. Similarly, gases also, particles are widely spread, they are free to move, and that's why they keep colliding with the walls of the container. Collision will happen because of the higher kinetic energy. They have lots of energy. Particles of gases always have lots of energy and they're free to move. That's why they will have a collision with the walls of the container, and they will apply large force on the wall, larger than the force applied by the particles in the liquid. Because here in gases the particles are free to move, they are spreaded. So as a result the molecules will apply pressure on the walls of the container. Please take down this in your notebook, children. Like example, very good example. Air is a mixture of gases, different various gases. So now you will see during storm, the strong breeze or very heavy breeze flowing, um, it will have a collision with different objects on the way, and the heavy breeze or the strong wind will destroy those objects. Why? Because they exert lots of pressure on the object which comes in its way. That's why storm will have a very high kinetic energy, because of the molecules are widely spread and they are in the gaseous form. Particles are free to move, and then they exert lots of pressure on the objects with which they had a collision, because they come with lots of force and lots of kinetic energy with them. So gases exert more pressure, gaseous molecules will exert more pressure than the molecules in liquid. Please take this down in your notebook, children. Pressure exerted by gases on the walls of a container. So if you keep any gas in a container, it will exert the pressure, and you see the direction of the molecules randomly, they will just collide with the walls. You can see the particles and you can see the arrows where it will have a collision. So they are just randomly moving and they will collide. This is for you to understand how collision will happen with the walls of the container and how they will exert pressure. The exerting pressure is due to the uh, particles of the gases, because all gases, liquids and solids, they are all made up of some particles, some molecules. Now atmospheric gases here, you will see uh, a layer of gases is present around the earth's surface. The air present in the atmosphere exert a pressure on the earth which is called atmospheric pressure. Do you all agree? Because all gases exert pressure because of particles are randomly moving and they are free to move. That's why they will exert pressure. uh, uh, because air is a mixture of gases and atmosphere, earth has a layer of atmosphere, so the air present in the atmosphere will exert a pressure on the earth which is called atmospheric pressure. Please take down this in your notebook, children. And the value of atmospheric pressure at the sea level is tentatively calculated. You need not write this, just for your information. Just a rough estimation, 1.01325 Pascal. So this is the atmospheric pressure at the sea level. The atmospheric pressure keeps on increasing as we move towards the earth's surface. You take down this point in your notebook. The atmospheric pressure keeps on increasing as we move towards the earth's surface. Not away from the earth's surface, towards the earth's surface, the atmospheric pressure keeps on increasing. Please take this down. Because you at the surface you have a thicker layer of air, or towards the surface you have air being more dense. So now atmospheric pressure, you can see, for you to understand this, the earth and surrounded by the atmosphere, and the pressure exerted by the atmosphere on the earth. You can see this is called as atmospheric pressure. Atmospheric pressure demonstration now. Now here you just take a cuboidal cylinder, tall cylinder, in a cuboidal form, and you top of the atmosphere, if you consider the top part of the cylinder as the top of the atmosphere, you consider that way, and then you will see the unit area at the bottom and the surface on which you are keeping the cylinder, and weight of the air in the column applies a pressure to the point X. You can see the weight of the air in the column applies a pressure in the point X. You can see the point X where the weight of the pressure will be applied. So this is just a demo for you to understand our atmosphere where the pressure of the air will be exerted. You can just relate to the this demo with the actual earth and the atmospheric pressure. So the amount of atmospheric pressure upon us is quite large due to large surface area of the atmosphere around the earth, but we do not experience any of its effect. You have to justify this. You have to take this down in your notebook, children. We have to answer this. We will see. You are going to write the answer. Uh, the amount of atmospheric pressure upon us is quite large due to the large surface area of the atmosphere around the earth. Do you all agree? But then also we do not experience any of its effect. So why? This is so because the pressure of the air inside a body is equal to the atmospheric pressure. There are also fluid present in a body that exert a pressure inside a body. Hence, our bodies easily obtain a balance with the atmospheric pressure. So, there's always a balance between a body and the atmospheric pressure. Otherwise, won't be able to bear the atmospheric pressure if there is no pressure in a body. So, this is the reason where the atmospheric pressure and your body pressure is always balanced. Any imbalance happen, then it affects your body. So this is the reason, children. Please take this down in your notebook. However, now we are going to continue this. What happened at higher altitude? We will continue with the answer. At high altitude, where the atmospheric pressure is low as compared to that at the Earth's surface, because it is being exerted on the surface of the Earth, the pressure is maximum and it's low at high altitude, our nose start bleeding. So, you are going to write why our nose start bleeding, because second justification, that means actually it's a continuation, but then you can make a second question for this. However, sometimes at high altitude where the atmospheric pressure is low as compared to that at the earth's surface, where uh, low altitudes, at surface low altitude, nose bleeding occurs. So this is so because at that time the blood pressure in a body becomes higher than the atmospheric pressure outside us. So what happened? At higher altitude, atmospheric pressure is low as compared to that of the Earth's surface, and nose bleeding occurs because the pressure in a body becomes higher than the atmospheric pressure outside us. So they see any imbalance happen, and in your body pressure and the atmospheric pressure, then it will affect your body. You have to take this down in your notebook, children. Now you can see over here uh, a person standing at a high altitude, on suppose on a mountain. Here you had the diagrammatic representation of atmospheric gases, the particles, the spread of the particles in the atmosphere. It is shown in the cylinder, in the cuboidal cylinder. So now you will see, you can compare, you can understand with the help of this. Now a person standing on top, have a few atoms are present pressing down on the guy. You can see the cylinder, you can see the red arrow here, the lower pressure on top. You can fill a cuboidal cylinder with a gas and you will find the pressure at the bottom is more, where the pressure on the top will be the least, very low pressure. So you can compare person standing on top at a high altitude, very few atoms or very few particle pressing the guy on the top, and when you the guy standing at the bottom of the mountain, you can see the pressure very high pressure. You can see the cuboidal cylinder, see the red arrow is being compared here with help of a cuboidal cylinder. So look at all the atom pressing down on the guy at the bottom of the mountain. So this is the variation in atmospheric pressure at higher altitude and at the earth surface. So you just have to understand this concept with the help of this demo. So what have you learned in this chapter? Let us quickly have a summary of the chapter. Uh, Force could be a push or a pull, which you have already done. You know. A force arises due to the interaction between two objects. You all know. Force has magnitude as well as direction. Yes. A change in the speed of an object or the direction of its motion, or both, implies a change in its state of motion. Force acting on an object may cause a change in its state of motion or change in its shape. A force can act on an object with or without being in contact with it. Force per unit area is called pressure. Liquid and gases exert pressure on the walls of their containers. The pressure exerted by air around us is known as atmospheric pressure. So, children, here we have completed the chapter and we have seen the summary of the chapter. All these points are there with you as we have done so many sessions of this chapter. So I hope you will have taken down those points. This is just the summary of the chapter which we have already done. So in the next session we will continue with the revision of the chapter, so that all the concept which we have done will be reinforced and you can clarify your doubts. Thank you children. Have a wonderful day.